Okay, so this is an historical game because it was the U.S. Championship, and I beat Yuri Shulman with the black pieces, and it's possible. I'm not saying it's true, but it may be true, 50-50, that Yuri Shulman in 2010s didn't lose any games with white in the U.S. Championship, except this one. Yuri Shulman rarely loses and never loses with white, except this game. And I've played Yuri Shulman a million times, and even he pointed out the first few times we played, I think we had the first 7 games we played were draws. And they were like fighting draws, but they were draws. And which is weird because he's way better than me. Then the next games we played, he won, then I won, then he won. So then they're all decisive. And he pointed that out. I knew it, but he said it to me. He says, we used to draw our games. Now somebody wins all our games. Okay, so I'm black, and I prepared this line in the King's Indian where you don't play D6, but you play C6. And your idea is you're going to play D5. And he played Bishop D3, which thwarts the idea that black wants to play D5, and then after E5, play Knight E4. Which, like after Bishop E2, that's what I would do. Okay. So he played Bishop D3, so now D5 doesn't make any sense because he'll take and play E5 and my knight has to go backwards. So now I tried to punish the fact that he played Bishop D3, which is a bit unusual, by just playing a regular King's Indian with his bishop on D3, which typically isn't a good square because it undefends the pawn on D4, and I can pin his knight now, and bishop's not on E2. So, okay, so he castled. I played Bishop G4, and he played Bishop E2. So this is a theoretical position, except I'm up a tempo. And unfortunately, that tempo is C6. And in this position, black often strives to play C5 and or knight C6 to put pressure on D4. So I played knight FD7, which is the main move if your pawn's on C7, bishop E3, and C5. So now we've transposed into theory because I played C6, C5, and he played bishop D3, bishop E2. But it's a position like neither one of us knows. So, okay, he played D5. So let's see if Karen gets it, because I haven't asked you any questions yet.
All right.
Was a King's Indian.
Yeah.
Now it looks like another opening. What opening does it look like?
Man, I'm so bad with openings too.
I'll give you a hint. It starts with my name.
Ben? What? I don't know.
Benoni.
Oh, Benoni.
Yeah. Okay, so this looks like a Benoni. Okay, so I played knight A6 because it's only square for my knight. And he played knight G5. Very aggressive move. So white likes to trade the white squared bishops because his white squared bishop isn't very good. So, and he wants to play knight G5 because if white has a plan here and the plans are play for B4 or play for F4, which are typically the two plans that white would have in this position, F4 is easy to play. B4, not so much. I got two guys on B4 and my bishop's on this diagonal. So he's like, okay, I'll play for F4. So he played here, forcing the trade of bishops. And now he wants to play F4. So I kicked his knight back. And he played knight H3 because he wants to play F4. Okay. So I played knight C7. And in this position, when you play knight A6 to C7 in the Benoni, you want to play rook B8, A6, B5. And that's how you get your queenside play. So he played F4. I played A6. He played e5, sacrificing a pawn, but opening up the position. Actually, it doesn't sacrifice a pawn because if I take with the bishop, my h pawn's hanging, and if I take with the knight, then my c pawn's hanging. Still, the engine doesn't like the move e5. It says the black is equal now. So I played correctly with b5. And this is a real benoni. White's crashing through the center, and black is crashing through the queen side. Very exciting.
So why do you think the engine didn't like e5?
In this position, it preferred him not to go here and play something like g4 or queen g4 and not ruin his nice pawn center. Because after e5, his center is going to collapse.
Okay.
So, yeah, usually that's a weird move when the knight's not on f6. Okay, he played b3. And I took on e5, which is the engine move. And he played f5, which is okay. And the engine says I'm better if I play knight e8. And one of the ideas is to play knight d6, because you'd really like to put your knight on d6, because it looks good. Okay, but I took on c4. He took back. And I did play knight e8. The engine says that black is slightly better. He played knight e4. So he sacrificed a pawn, but my pieces look stupid, and his knight looks not stupid, and he's attacking my king, and my c pawn's hanging, and so forth. However, I'm a pawn up, so the engine says I'm better. Okay, so I played knight d6. That's the engine move. And he played knight g3, which is also the engine move. I played rook b8, which is the engine move. He played rook a e1, which the engine says is bad. And I played rook b4, the engine move. So black in a King's Indian, where I don't really know anything. I'm outplaying Yuri Shulman, and who's much higher rated than me and much better, former U.S. champion. And I've achieved an excellent position. Okay, now he made a mistake, FG. And I made a big mistake in this position. So I should just play FG. And then it says like I'm 0.8 better. I'm pawn up and the c pawn's weak. Okay, but I got aggressive. I played f5. I was like, I'll win this pawn later, like, here or something, or here. And like, that looks awesome. Okay, and the engine says, boo, boo, you suck. So in this position, white already has a big advantage by sacrificing his bishop, which he didn't do. Then if I take, he plays queen h5, I can't move my bishop because queen h7 is checkmate. So I play king g7. And now he plays knight g5, threatening knight e6. Knight e6 is good. So only move, other than resigns, is rook f6. And then it says, after knight takes f5 check, he's better. But you can see this is hard to calculate because all the pieces are hanging. Mm-hmm. This is the main line. I can't take the rook because knight e6 check and queen takes wins. I'm supposed to play queen g8. He checks. Then I sack the exchange. He plays this intermezzo. I have to take. This is like the main line of the engine. And it says white's slightly better. It's like a crazy line, insane line. It says he should give away his f pawn here. That's the best move. So when he opens up the f file, he's got, squares and stuff. Okay, so that was super complicated, and he didn't do that. He played a3 attacking my rook. And I made very bad move here. The engine says rook b3 is equal. I played rook a4 because I want to keep on both pawns. And now bishop takes h6 is much better than before, which is weird. And the funny thing is, he sacrificed a piece and I won. And he told me He didn't know which piece to sacrifice because he thought about going here. And then when we analyzed it, he kept winning. And then the engine says it wins. But he did something else. He played knight g5.
So, okay, I'm sorry. So back up. So why you said previously bishop takes h6
Right.
was not good?
It was good. Now it's better.
But why did it?
Because my rook on a4 is no good. I can't get my rook involved in the game. Like on the b file with either rook b2 or rook b6 and defend. My rook is like sort of trapped on
Okay.
a4.
It's just weird that that would affect
I
the
agree.
goodness of the bishop. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well,
But so it was good, and now it's really good.
Right.
Okay, he played knight g5. Okay, so I took, because I have to. And he played bishop takes g5, which is the engine move. And black has one winning move here. You want to try to find it? There's one move that wins.
See.
And let me explain why he played bishop takes g5. That way it'll help you find it.
All right.
He wants to play queen h5, threatening queen h7 mate.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, if he plays queen h5, I would play knight f6, attacking his queen and defending the mate. But the reason he took on g5 is then he can take my knight and then play queen h7 mate. So if it was his move, queen h5 would win.
Right. Let's see.
The obvious move is just equal. The obvious move is knight f6, stopping queen h5. That hangs my f pawn. And the engine says this is all zeros, which doesn't make any sense. But it's all zeros. But I played a move that actually wins.
Darn, I don't know if I probably can't find it. Is it too hard to find?
You can guess. Nobody in the chat can find it.
Well, I'm just gonna look another moment if
Yeah.
they didn't find it yet.
Well, they're never going to find it.
Oh, it's hard.
The chat doesn't know whose move it is.
They do.
No. Yuri Shulman is alive.
And you said why it's not knight f6
Correct.
because it hangs the pawn.
Is this a real game? Yeah, this is my game with Yuri Shulman from the U.S. Championship in 2013. All of the games are from 2013.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so I played queen e8, the only winning move. Now I have a big threat. So he has to play queen h5, then knight f6. He has to take my knight. And did I take with the rook, the pawn, or the bishop?
I guess. Well, no, that doesn't work. Yeah, I guess it's got to be the rook to give you somewhere to go.
That's right. Okay, he took on e5, took on g6, and okay, I'm a piece up for a pawn. What am I, chopped liver? The vegan, maybe. Okay, so he's just lost now. He played queen d1, attacking my rook. I took. He took on e7. I played rook g4, which is actually the engine move, number one engine move. He played queen f3. And now I did a very long calculation. That's funny, the engine doesn't play this move. I calculated like all the way to mate here because I was good in 2013. Okay, so it says every move wins, like random legal moves win. I played knight e4. And the reason it doesn't play knight e4 is it ignores knight e4 and plays like d6, and then I play knight takes d6. Okay, but obviously, if you're white here and you're down a piece, you play knight takes f5. I mean, that's wild and crazy. You can't just be a piece down and losing. You got to, force the action. And when I played knight e4, I saw that knight takes f5 lost, and then some. Okay, so I sacked the exchange. Always sack the exchange. And he took, and I throw in a check, and then I throw in a check, and then he resigned, because if he takes my knight, I play queen h6 check. And then he's mated.
Nice, yeah.
So after knight g3, he resigned. Yeah, so that was good because I wasn't having a good U.S. championship. But I beat Kachian, which I decided not to show, and Shulman in a row. So that helped my tournament.
Mm-hmm. No, it was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
What else? We're a pretty couple. Pretty.
Mm-hmm. We're pretty, but we're not as pretty as the couple Hans and Gotham Chess.
Totally agree. Thank you, Starson. Yeah, they make a nice bromance.